Alright folks, we're here at the Orleans in Las Vegas for the start of Under 22 World Championship Week. It's our Mojave Conference Doubles Tournament. It's a regular season Mojave event as well as the opening event of the World Championship. This is Stephen Acuff, part of the top-seeded handicap team from Arizona. You've seen a lot of him in our webcasts this season, and he's doing a lot of that on the webcasts. Striking the first for him, this is Baker format, so it's essentially alternating frames. The father and son team of Tyler and Todd Ottenschot qualified second and won the third match to get here. This is Tyler, the son of the group, coming up light and leaving a rail there in the first. They're getting lots of pins, 30 of them. So Labrell and Steven are going to have to win this match by 31 pins, scratch or more in order to win the titles. Lots on the line for all of these bowlers. Todd's still looking, it's Tyler and Todd for that matter, still looking for their first career JBT titles. Got to be careful to not chop something here in this spare, and that's a beautiful job. Nice spare for Tyler in the first. So Tyler's going to do all the odd-numbered frames, and he's going to stay in that right-hand lane the whole time. His dad will do the even-numbered frames, make him pop, finish in the 10th. No pressure, Dad. Over in the scratch division, we got four real talented bowlers here in Nevada. It's a battle between Washington, Ohio, and the Dominican Republic. How's that for a change? This is 8-time winner Cameron Weir, two of the very best from our Pacific Northwest Conference. Cameron does everything deliberately, including even throw this first ball. We could talk about Cameron for 5 minutes here. He might not throw a shot. But that's all right, because once he does, it looks pretty good. They qualified first today. They led all 7 games of the tournament against the level of talent that we had in the scratch division today. That is saying something. Plus 420 for 8. Cameron was on fire today. He had a high game of 278 and a 276 as well. A deep inside approach, that big drift left, and gets the solid 9 out of the way. Their opponents, two bowlers from the Pikeville College bowling team. A lot of collegians here today. This is Bayt-Marcena. He's bowling with his partner Zeke Bayt. Obviously, since we don't see Kentuckians very often, they're both looking for their first career titles each. Fidel from the Dominican Republic, as you can see on the back of his shirt. I believe would be the first international JBT winner out here on the West Coast. And as the college kids do, you're going to hear him even though he ran right off camera. College kids bowl a lot of doubles, they bowl a lot of Baker and team and stuff like that, and you're going to hear it from them in this match, I guarantee it. Acuff-Leach also occasionally noisy. This is a big match for Labrell. He is looking for his 10th career JBT title. Very few bowlers in our history have 10 or more titles. Labrell has been bowling with us since last millennium for real. Here's his first shot. Way high, leaves the 6-pin only. Labrell is kind of Technicolor here today. We got the Cisco blonde hair. We got the pink and white striped Arizona shirt. On behalf of Arizona, we don't claim that shirt as ours at all. But you know, they say they wanted to. They realized on the way up they didn't have matching team shirts, so they stopped for gas and picked up these shirts. That's dedication, and that's a spare at the 6-pin for Mr. Leach. Labrell won our Tournament of Champions in the year 2000 when he was about half the height he is now. He's been a regular bowler for literally over 10 years. Tyler's dad, Todd here, the old man of the bunch, the only adult left in the field. And he comes up high and leaves the 6. You can have an adult junior team or a junior team as long as you got one 21 and under. You can bowl our doubles. Leads to some really interesting combinations. A lot of talent here today. Mike Haugen did some bowling, finished outside the top 5 today. Wendy McPherson right off her 100,000 plus win in Japan. Appreciate all the adults and alumni that came out and bowled today, and Todd's got the spare, no trouble. Speaking of talent, here we go. On your right, from Pikeville, it's our first look ever at Zeke Bayt. He throws a heck of a shot. He wants to be up there. Throw it, going up. Against an even-numbered frames current junior gold champion, Weier-Kent. Marshall won it all this summer. Over 1,000 boys in that field. He doubled in the 10th to win junior gold. So a lot of people excited to catch a little bit more of him on YouTube. Similar styles here, really. 10 in the pit for Bayt. He doubled in the 10th frame to win the semifinal match and move on for the opportunity to play Weier-Kent for the title. The animated Zeke. Marshall, a much more low-key guy usually. In fact, when he threw that double to win junior gold, it was a little bit of a slap out and nothing more than that until he broke out in tears with his dad. It was a real neat moment. See that same sort of similar place on the lane, same height, backswing, a lot of rotation at the release. Comes in light and breaks up the bucket, leaves only the 5. Marshall Kent has not missed a 5-pin since 1967. Let's see how badly I just jinxed him. LeBrel keeping himself pumped up off camera there. There we go. Single pin spare shouldn't be any trouble for Kent. And isn't. So early 10-pin deficit with that strike spare. But then we'll see what happens the rest of the way. Earlier in the handicap division match, another father and son team of Sorrell and Regino Cardenas, they won round 1 over Nick Pollock and Brandon Duffy, 206 to 159. Then it was Cardenas over 2 Hawaiians, Casey Nagamine and Brandy Kawamoto, 237 to 206. Before the Ottenschot stopped them, 201 to 180. Little Brooklyn shot this time and doesn't get the good pin action, leaves a 5-10. That'll be a tricky one for him. Steven has been on fire this year, off to a real fast start. He was leading the New Mexico-Texas points prior to last tournament. With shots like that, he's doing well in Arizona. I think he's the all-conference points leader right now as well, too. So when Steven has a look, he's been pretty deadly this season. He's still learning a lot about the game. When he doesn't have a look, he tends to, well, do less well. I'll just leave it like that. 5-10, good to get the 1 out for Ottenschot. And they trail on the scoreboard, begin to getting 30 pins, so it's early now. This is going to be a 3-segment webcast with Cameron bowling. I'm sure you watch part 2 and part 3 of these on YouTube, as well as all of our other videos. Hundreds of hours of JBT action on there online for you. I haven't watched Randy Spieler in action yet. How about that? This season at least. Randy doing the color commentary off to my right. Thanks for chipping in. She will be Plaque Girl, so you'll see her on camera in a minute. We've talked so much about Marshall this year, and we talked so much about Jordan Plunkett last year in the Pacific Northwest. Really, Cameron's been a little bit under the radar, undeservedly so, because he is right up there with them and a couple others in a really strong conference we have up Northwest. You bet. See all the players with a little bit of hand rotation on the right side pretty much playing on top of each other, sliding the left gutter, looking around the 4th arrow, getting the ball as far right as they need to hold that break point. Looks like there's a little bit of hold in the middle right now. The left side usually pretty favorable here at the Orleans. A lot of lefties scored very well today. Fidel obviously one of them. You see they're a little bit further left. There's less lane play on the left, so the bowlers don't have to move as far right as the righties do. Able to get a real nice entry angle and so far a pretty good carry. 19 years old, like I said, lives in and occasionally bowls for the Dominican Republic. And you betcha, 10 in the pit again. Great looking 3-bagger for that little shout out to the country there. There was a time in the middle part of last decade where LeBrel was really struggling, and a couple years ago he had a good scratch division win and has put it all together, and he's been a force on our tour since then. But that's way left to target. Kind of lucky to only be the 6, but he wants to throw a better shot than that. Wanted to catch the double for his team. And he's going to have to figure out that lane, because if it comes down to it, he finishes on the 10th frame on that lane. You only get 5 shots on a lane in Baker, so it goes awful quickly if you're a bowler. The practice was important. You got to make the right decision on the lane and commit to it. So you don't really have a lot of time to fiddle around. Back to old man Ottenschot here. high finish of second for his team. These guys finished in the top 5 in the SoCal doubles just 2 weeks ago. So 2 doubles top 5s as a father-son combo in one season. That's a great job, and that's a great shot by Todd right there to give his team a big strike. Be sure to watch part 2, folks, coming up.